Did you see this thing from the Daily Beast? It's about the Green Party presidential nominee Jill Stein and how she has largely based her entire campaign on her uncompromising positions on the environment, opposition to big banks and Wall Street, opposition to defense contractors and the pharmaceutical industry. But an analysis of her financial disclosures, which she was required to file as a presidential candidate, shows she is heavily invested in the very industries that she maligns the most. And as a result of these investments, she has built significant wealth. According to the financial disclosure form she filed with the U.S. Office of Government Ethics on March 30th of this year, Stein and her husband, Richard Rohrer, have investments, with the exception of real estate, valued at anywhere from $3.8 million to $8.5 million. We don't know the couple's exact net worth because filers are only required to provide a range of the value of their investments as opposed to exact values. Stein has also voluntarily released the first 2 pages of her 2015 federal tax return. That return, filed jointly with her husband, shows a total income of $349,000 in 2015 and an effective tax rate of 21%. In a video interview, Stein told a reporter for Forbes in 2012 that she does not rely on accountants or lawyers to prepare her tax returns. In the interview, she said she uses the popular do-it-yourself software TurboTax. An examination by the Daily Beast of her 2015 tax return confirms that no outside party was involved in preparing her returns. Stein is a Harvard-educated physician who's run for office 7 times, including 2 unsuccessful races for Massachusetts governor and a run for the White House in 2012. In the 2012 presidential race, Stein received about 500,000 votes. She has made purity a central pillar of her presidential candidacy, and she has held that the Green Party reigns above all others with respect to moral and ethical supremacy. In an interview with CNN last April, she said, quote, "I have long since thrown in the towel on the Democratic and Republican parties because they are really a front group for the 1%, for predatory banks, fossil fuel giants, and war profiteers." End quote. Most of Stein's investments are in mutual funds or index funds. Experts suggest these funds, which are usually highly diversified, provide more consistent returns than picking individual stocks. It is important to note that politicians from all parties have been held accountable for their mutual and index fund investments. Elected officials and candidates like Barack Obama, Ted Cruz, and many members of Congress have had their fund investments called into question and have been pushed to divest for various reasons. To learn more about the funds Stein has invested in, the Daily Beast did not have to engage in significant research by any definition. A simple Google search of the names of each of the funds she has invested in returned publicly available marketing documents produced by the investment managers that showed where these funds were investing their capital. Mutual funds often share the top 10 or top 25 largest holdings in their portfolio. the Steins, and we relied only on this data to determine the composition of these funds. Stein's controversial investments include Big Carbon. On October 26, 2015, Stein's campaign sent out a statement calling for Exxon to get the death penalty for its, quote, climate change fraud. It should be noted that Stein has called for the abolition of the death penalty for human beings. She has also repeatedly called for public pension funds to divest from companies in the fossil fuel industry. Yet Stein has invested $995,000 to $2.2 million in funds such as the Vanguard 500 Fund that maintains significant stakes in Exxon, Chevron, Duke Energy, ConocoPhillips, and Toho Gas, a Japanese company that engages in the sale of natural gas, tar, and coke, a fuel made from coal. In 2006, Ms. Stein retired from teaching and medicine to focus full-time on her political activism. There's little doubt that her decision to retire was made easier by the substantial returns her investments were producing, even if they went against her life's work. Well, that's not very encouraging. So if you want to vote for a candidate who is just as corrupt as Hillary Clinton, vote Stein. Pharmaceutical industry, weapons industry, tobacco industry, what was the fourth one? I said Big Carbon. Oh, the financial services industry, Big Pharma, tobacco. Now, I wonder, and I mean this seriously, I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but I wonder how Stein supporters defend that. I mean, I get The Nation magazine, right? And I also get Mother Jones. And there's not an issue, I may be exaggerating here, but there's not an issue that I have received that doesn't have, as an ad in the pages, a mutual fund or several of them that do not get involved in the filth and shit that Stein and Clinton are involved in. In fact, those mutual funds will list the companies where they put their investors' money. Now, apparently, either Miss Stein doesn't get The Nation or doesn't read Mother Jones, which is okay. I mean, you know, that's okay. But surely to God, in her campaign of abso-fucking-lute purity, she's been aware of where her money is going and where her profits are coming from. But I'm sure that Jill Stein has never sent emails, so therefore, who gives a shit? But I'm serious. I wonder how many people who are supporting Stein are aware of that. It's at the Daily Beast. You can find it. It's not made up. It's not bullshit.